And now, from 12 Studios, this is News 12 Now.
Welcome to News 12 Now for this November 15th. I'm Annette Campbell. New at noon, the Texas Supreme Court has made a ruling in the execution case of Robert Roberson. The state's high court ruled that a legislative subpoena cannot be used to stop an execution. This puts an end to a legal battle that halted Robert Roberson's execution last month. Now, Roberson, who was sentenced to death in 2003 for killing his 2-year-old daughter, has gained bipartisan from lawmakers and medical experts who say he was convicted on faulty evidence of the shaken baby diagnosis. If executed, Roberson will be the first person in the United States to die under the shaken baby syndrome. Also new at noon, a Paris woman is in jail after allegedly hitting her husband with a hammer. Paris police said that they were called to the 400 block of Southeast 14th Street for a disturbance last night. When police arrived, they found Ramona Tyson arguing with the victim with the hammer still in her hands. Officers attempted to detain Tyson, but she resisted and hit the officer in the face. Police said both appeared to be under the influence of alcohol. Tyson is charged with assault of a public servant and resisting arrest.
We saw another very chilly morning across Texoma, actually a little bit chillier than yesterday, believe it or not. Some locations actually managed to hit the freezing mark, even slightly below. Looked like Pushmataha County was the coldest location in Texoma, with Antlers and Clayton at or below freezing. So very, very cold there, 30s and 40s though elsewhere, but the good news is that we have seen a nice recovery this afternoon. Temperatures into the 60s for a lot of us. Still holding on to a couple upper 50s though, but either way, the abundant sunshine will definitely help going forward here. And we're not going to warm up much more. However, with southerly winds, I think we're going to be a little bit warmer than these temperatures here. Upper 60s generally and some lower 70s too. Either way, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic afternoon to get outside, but we will be kind of cooling off heading into Friday night football. So just heads up there because those temperatures are going to fall like a rock once that sun goes down. Enjoy it while this lasts because we have storm chances next week and a cool blast following. We'll have all the details in a minute. Back to you, Ned.
Thanks, Brian. Sulphur's Historic Preservation Commission met Thursday night to discuss the next steps in rebuilding its downtown after a deadly tornado damaged the area back in April. Sulphur's downtown is a designated historical district, which gives businesses access to federal funds and grants to help out with building upkeep and repairs. But there's also strict rules about how the buildings can look and the materials they can be built with. On Thursday, the Preservation Commission considered redrawing the district lines, but after a lengthy discussion, they decided the best course of action was no action at all.
The most important part is keeping our property owners that are there and not moving somewhere else or to another town and keeping them here in our county.
Bates said it would be unfair to the citizens of Sulphur if the commission drew new lines without getting input from the citizens first. She said that's why if the commission revisits the idea in the future, it will be at a public hearing. Well, ever since the historic winter storm of 2021, there's been a lot of focus on making the Texas power grid more reliable. Our sister station KWTX spoke with Already Texas Energy researcher about if the Texas power grid could handle another storm like 2021 and how wind and solar power will help on major usage events.
Is the Texas power grid any better set up now compared to 2021 to withstand something like that?
Yeah, huge improvements have been made. I don't think we would have the level of blackouts that we did then. I think have far less than half if I had to try to put a number on it. But I do not think that the ERCOT grid is ready for a repeat of Uri. Demand has grown, so that's going to pose a challenge. And we were just so far short back then. We were more than 1/3 short of supply meeting demand. And so I think we've made improvements that natural gas plants will perform better. I think the one nuclear unit that went down, I think it can avoid those problems. But the wind and solar that we keep adding to the state and the batteries that we're adding will help certain times of the day. But when you get to those winter storms after the cold front has passed and the winds are slow and it's dark, those aren't going to be what gets us through.
So one thing that we deal with a lot here in Texas in the summer is when we get to where the warnings that come out from ERCOT about getting to peak usage is with the transition to more solar and wind. Will that decrease that concern when it comes to those really hot days?
It has. It's really been transformative, is that we had near record levels of demand summer afternoons this year, and yet on almost all of those summer afternoons, there was plenty of supply to go around. Prices didn't spike nearly as much as they had in previous years. And the difference maker, even though gas is still the largest part of the power supply, the solar that's been brought online just the past few years was a difference maker in needing conservation alerts, or a few days perhaps having needed rolling blackouts, to really having more than enough power to go around. And that's because solar farms in Texas have been doubling every 2 years for the past 10 years now. And so we had a lot of summer afternoons where a quarter or a third of our power was being met by clean sources, even at the hottest times. On the flip side, there are new challenges. Where we start seeing the difficulties are when we have the occasional winter storm, or just after sunset when it's still hot in the fall. There are bits of times when wind and solar can't carry us through. Those don't have the absolute highest peak demand, but when the wind and solar aren't available for us, those are the new times that are a bit challenging for the grid.
For politics now, President-elect Donald Trump has chosen a former Texoma congressman to serve as CIA director. John Ratcliffe represented Texas's 4th congressional district, which includes Grayson County, from 2015 to 2020. Local leaders say they are excited someone from this area will be serving in the role.
I think it's an excellent selection. He's one of these people that you meet and you just know that, you know, he's a person of substance, that he's highly intelligent.
Sherman Mayor David Plyler says Ratcliffe was one of the most hands-on congressmen the area has ever had. He says Ratcliffe spent time visiting local businesses and often speaking at big events. Ratcliffe now awaits confirmation by the U.S. Senate before he's officially the CIA director. President-elect Donald Trump is picking loyalists to fill key posts in his second administration. But getting some of the more controversial candidates approved by the Senate could prove challenging. Nicole Skenga reports from Washington.
Please welcome the President of the United States.
President-elect Donald Trump enjoyed a black tie victory lap at his South Florida golf club Thursday night.
We won the popular vote. Oh, I love that.
He also praised Robert F. Kennedy Jr., his new pick for Secretary of Health and Human Services.
There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
Kennedy has a long record of criticizing vaccines and perpetuating false claims, including that vaccines cause autism. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder addressed that on CBS Mornings.
Vaccines, to be very clear, do not cause autism. The, quote, research that claimed that vaccines caused autism was rife with ethical issues, was sloppy research.
Dr. Gounder says an anti-vaccine approach has consequences for public health. Thursday, the CDC and World Health Organization reported measles cases around the world surged by 20% last year. More than 100,000 people died, most of them young children. Kennedy joins a list of cabinet picks who will test the new Republican Senate majority's loyalty to the president-elect. Senators are already expressing reservations about confirming Trump's choice for Attorney General, former Congressman Matt Gaetz. Some say they want to see the findings of a House Ethics Panel investigation into alleged sexual misconduct and drug use.
I think there should not be any limitation on the Senate Judiciary Committee's investigation, including whatever the House Ethics Committee has generated.
Trump's pick for Defense Secretary, Fox News host Pete Hegseth, is also in the spotlight. The Monterey, California Police Department has confirmed it investigated the Army veteran for an alleged sexual assault in 2017. No charges were filed, and Hegseth denies the allegations. Nicole Skenga, CBS News, Washington.
Thank you for watching today's News 12 Now. Make sure to subscribe so you find out why Texoma turns to us. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, where you'll see more social media exclusive content. Want more News 12 Now? Watch us live every weekday through the KXII app on your phone or TV and through our website.